All right, what's going on, my fellow stack addicts? Hopefully, you guys are doing well and your stacks are growing fat. Now, this is AddictStacker's first video without gold. I have 3 ounces of silver, but my first video without gold. Anyways, this video is going to be quick because that last video that I posted, it had a few people wondering exactly if I made profit, if I'm in the red, and I'm gonna break it down for you. Of course, I didn't make a crazy amount of money. I'm not even making a lot of money, but I did come out in the green. Now, first, let's go look at the way top. Okay, total acquisition costs, 86,451. That's everything that I spent on gold and silver. Everything that I spent for gold and silver. That's what you need to concentrate on, right? We'll get into the credit card interest and the loan interest in a minute, but just concentrate right now for 86,451. Now that's how much I spent. Now when I sold back to AppMex all the metal, gold and silver, I sold it for 96,343. 96,343. Now look at in the middle row. It says balance after subtracting 96 buyback from 86 acquisition costs. Now after you subtract that, that's 9,892. That's how much profit I made. Okay, that's how much profit I made from the sell. Now I know this is gonna get a little bit confusing for some people. Not all, but maybe a few. I'm just gonna break it down a little bit. Now the credit card balance that I still had was $20,000. I maxed it out. 20K is what I had left over. The loan balance, I had a $50,000 loan. I now have a balance of $47,000. So when you subtract the 20K and the 47K from the 96,343, you get a total end result of 29,343. 29,343. Don't worry about that number for now. Don't even think about that, okay? Let's go back to the 9892. The 9892. That's the difference between the acquisition costs and the AppMex buyback costs. Now with that 9892, now I told you guys in the video, okay, that I maxed out my credit card in October of 2025. October 2025. That's only what, 5 months. That's only 5 months, okay? Think about that. 5 months. That same month, like mid-month, I ended up applying for a $50,000 loan. I got approved, and my first payment was in November 2025. So I didn't have to start making loan payments for that loan until November 2025. So that's a total of only 4 months for the bank loan. 5 months for the credit card, but 4 months for the bank loan. Now let's go back to the credit card. It's about an 18 to 19% interest rate. So I checked my interest charge on my statements. It's about 375. So 375 for a total of 5 months, it comes out to 1,875. That's how much interest I spent on that credit card. 1,875. All right. Even though I said I maxed it out again, because I maxed it, I paid the credit card with the loan, then I maxed it out again, the interest is going to be the same. It's like 375. So that's what I paid for the credit card for the total of 5 months, 1,875. Now for the bank loan, my first payment was in November. Okay, it was a 6.9 interest rate. All right. So basically, for the first 4 months or so, I'm going to be paying about $288. That comes up to about 1,152. Now let's go back to the total acquisition cost and the buyback price. Back to the beginning of 9892. So the profit that I made was 9,892. With that being said, about a 15% capital gains tax, for the US, that brings it to about 1,484. Now you take the 9,892, take away the 1,875 for the credit card interest, the 1,152 for the bank loan interest, the capital gains tax 1,484, and you get a total of 5,381 remaining. That 5,381 is my total profit in the 5 months. So that 29,343, that's just some of the money that I'm getting back from the money that I put into the metals. Now that I sold and I got that 96K, and after I paid the loan, the credit card, that 29,343, that's the money that I'm recovering back. Obviously, if I ended up paying all the credit card and the loan, then I would get the full 96,343 back. However, the interest on the credit cards and the interest on the loan would obviously grow and grow over months and months. But because I sold and I paid the interest off, or I paid the loan and the credit card off within only a couple of months, I only accumulated that much. So in the end, yes, I didn't. That 29,343, that's some of the money. That's kind of like me investing some of my own money, and the profit was 5,381. So within 5 months, guys, yes, I know some people can't understand that, but when I broke it down, that's basically how it came out to. In 5 months, I made 5,381. That was a crap load of gold and silver that I had. I sold everything, but in the end, I only made 5,381 because all of that money, most about 98% of that money wasn't mine. But I threw in some money, and I guess that's where it comes. I'm getting it back on the 29,343. But in the end, that 5,381 after all the deductions, that's my profit. If you guys could explain it a little different way, I don't know. I ran the numbers. I double checked. I triple checked. I went online. I looked at my bank statements. I looked at the interest rate, interest charges every month for those 5 months on the credit card, and then on the I did the math on the loan, and yeah, 5,381. I am in the green. I know that's not a crazy amount of number, but for to get that much money in 5 months, man, that's like a little bit over $1,000 a month. That's kind of like putting that 23, 24K in a high CD interest rate account and coming back a couple of months later and getting 5,381. In the end, yes, I got 29,343 because that's my own money, and I have 5,381 on top. Anyways, I did my best to explain. I know there's some people on the comments, and there's some people throwing shade my way, but that's cool. Everyone has a right to their own opinion. I'm not going to delete any comments. I believe keeping my comments up will help me, check and double check my work, and it'll help me refocus myself and put myself back into and on the right path in case I'm going too far to the left or too far to the right. So I appreciate all comments, whether they're positive or negative. But anyways, that's how I calculated everything. If you see another way that I might be wrong, and if you could correct me, but that's it. That's what I got. Well, until next time, guys. Hopefully, I'll have a little bit more gold and silver by then. But thanks for hanging in there, and thanks for listening to my story. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Addict Stacker out.